Beyond the diagnosis, finding light in autism. Imagine this. You're at a family gathering. The air is filled with laughter, conversation, and the smell of a home-cooked meal. Everyone is talking at once. Cousins running around, parents catching up, and voices overlapping in a comforting symphony of chaos. At the edge of the room, I noticed two boys. One lines up his toy cars with perfect precision, each one angled exactly the same. The other is asking question after question, his curiosity endless and his energy lighting up the space around him. Those boys are my cousins, Matthew O'Donoghue and Jack Boynes, and they are the reason I am who I am today. Growing up alongside them shaped me into the person I am. Autism has been a part of my life story, not because I live with it, but because I love people who do. Through Matthew and Jack, I've learned that autism is not just about a diagnosis. It's about resilience, family, patience, and love that grows stronger every day. I've seen the challenges, the victories, the hard days, and the beautiful ones. And through all of it, I've learned what it means to lead with empathy. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 31 children in the United States are identified with the autism spectrum disorder, with boys being diagnosed nearly 4 times more often than girls. Globally, about 1 in 100 children are estimated to be on the autism spectrum. Autism spectrum disorder can often be diagnosed as early as the age of 2, but many children are not diagnosed until later in life, which delays the support they need. These numbers remind us that awareness is only the beginning. Understanding and acceptance must follow. When I was little, I didn't know what autism meant. I just knew my cousins as Matthew and Jack, their laughter, their quirks, their kindness. But as I grew older, I began to understand the challenges they face. For some, the world can be louder, brighter, and more overwhelming. Routines become comfort. Change feels like chaos. And yet, within that same world exists an extraordinary beauty, a way of seeing that is unique, brilliant, and honest. Matthew and Jack taught me that love doesn't always look or sound the same. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's repetitive. Sometimes it's found in patterns, gestures, or the simple joy of lining up toy cars. Their love for the world and their way of expressing it taught me patience and empathy that being in ways no book or classroom ever could. They taught me that being different doesn't mean being less. It means seeing the world through a new lens, and that is a gift. When I realized how deeply autism has touched my life, I wanted to do something that would make a difference, not just for my cousins, but for families everywhere who share similar journeys. It all started with a simple lemonade stand, just a table, a few lemons, and a drink. But that small act turned into something much greater. Every cup of lemonade, every smile from a passerby, every dollar placed in the jar became a symbol of hope and kindness. What started as a summer project quickly grew into a mission. With the help of my family, friends, and community, I've raised over $5,000 for autism awareness and support. But what mattered most wasn't just the number, it was the meaning behind every dollar. Each donation told a story. A teacher gave because her student had autism. A mother donated with tears in her eyes because her son reminded her of my cousins. Strangers stopped by, smiled, and said, "Keep doing what you're doing." Those moments stayed with me. They reminded me that kindness doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. It just needed to be real. Every lemonade cup became a ripple in a wave of compassion that continues to grow. That $5,000 was never just money, it was movement. It proved that one person's heart, when fueled by love, can spark change. It showed me that a sidewalk stand could stand for something huge. Every cent went towards making the world more understanding, more inclusive, and more kind. When I look back on those long days in the sun, squeezing lemons and counting change, I realized I wasn't just fundraising. I was learning what it means to change the world, one cup at a time. And that's what led me to the Lukumi Make a Difference Foundation, because I realized that doing good didn't have to stop when the lemonade ran out. Lukumi gave me a space to dream bigger, to turn that same energy and heart into something lasting. It showed me that when kindness shared multiplies. It became something greater than any one person. Through Lukumi, I've learned that compassion is contagious, that one good deed can inspire another, and that is the light we share can spread farther than we will ever see. The Lukumi Foundation helped me discover my voice. It showed me that leadership doesn't always mean standing in front. It means standing beside others, lifting them up, and giving them strength. It taught me that kindness isn't random, it's intentional. It's a choice we make over and over again. Every time I've helped plan a project, volunteer, or have spoke about autism awareness, I wasn't just spreading information, I was spreading hope. I am endlessly grateful for the Lukumi Foundation because it helped me grow into the person I am today. It showed me that small acts of love can become movements of change. It reminded me that when we work together, we don't just change one life, we change entire communities. I have learned to lead, to organize, and to speak up. And I've realized that doing good isn't something you do just once. It's something you live every single day. Autism has taught me about courage, the courage to be misunderstood, to persevere, to love deeply even when the world doesn't always understand you. It taught me that inclusion begins with compassion, and compassion begins with understanding. Every person on the spectrum has something to teach us if we are willing to listen, not just with our ears, but with our hearts. I believe that the world is brighter when we celebrate differences instead of fearing them. Too often, society defines people by what they can't do, instead of recognizing the incredible things they can. Autism doesn't just take away potential, it just reshapes it. It turns focus into dedication, passion into expertise, and love into loyalty that knows no limits. To me, advocacy is not about pity, it's about power. It's about empowering people like Matthew and Jack to live fully, to dream boldly, and to know that who they are is exactly who they're meant to be. It's about creating a world where no one has to apologize for being different. When I think of my cousin, I think of laughter echoing through the house. I think of shared smiles, of tiny movements that mean everything. I think of how much they've taught me about patience, acceptance, and unconditional love. I am so proud to be their cousin, their advocate, and their voice when the world needs reminding that autism is not a tragedy. It's a way of seeing beauty that others might miss. To anyone listening who has a family member or friend on the autism spectrum, know that you are a part of something extraordinary. You have the power to change how the world sees autism through your words, your compassion, and your example. Together, we can rewrite the story of what it means to be different. We could build a world where differences are not hidden, but honored, where no child grows up believing they are less, when love is louder than judgment, and kindness becomes the language we all speak. I'm grateful for every organization, every teacher, every friend, and every family who stands for understanding and inclusion. You are the light that guides this movement. You remind us that empathy isn't weakness, it's strength. And that together, we could turn awareness into action and compassion into lasting change. Because in the end, autism is not a limitation, for it is a reflection of everything that makes humanity so incredible: courage, individuality, and love. The light it brings into our world is something we should never dim, but always celebrate. So let's celebrate it, loudly, proudly, and endlessly. Because when we look beyond the diagnosis, we don't just find light, we find love. And that love has the power to change the world. Thank you.